there, it's Siobhan with Relatable, and I am back with an all-new episode of our Marriage Makeover Monday. Thanks so much for joining me. This is where I provide my expert advice on your most common marriage issues and questions, all in under 4 minutes. So let's get right to this week's question. So we have a woman who writes, I've been trying to find balance between marriage, church, school, work, and life. Are there any guidelines you can offer to assist with balancing these tasks? So again, thank you first for submitting your question. This is something that I'm sure many of us can relate to. It is often really difficult to juggle so many things, and there's so many areas of our lives that really need our attention. So the first thing that I'll suggest you do is to prioritize. And what I mean by that is identifying what will always come first, second, third, and so on for you. So think about, of all of the things that demand your attention, what is your number one priority no matter what? And make sure that you always prioritize that over the other things that need your attention. What's second for you after the first thing? Identifying, how you can literally sort of write down and rank, this is always the most important to me. This is always second important to me. That will really help you in sort of knowing when there's conflicts where you need to spend your time. Now, as a relationship coach, you know that I'm going to suggest that your marriage rank really, really high on that priority list. And so as you think about making time for your marriage, I'll offer you a couple of thoughts. So I'm sure when you think about school and when you think about work and when you think about church even, that those things get your attention because they're time bound. And what I mean by that is that for school, you have quizzes or you have homework due or you have tests. For work, you probably have deadlines. For church, you probably have meetings. And so when there's a concrete sort of time or day or deadline around something, that gets your attention because it becomes urgent. You have to make the time because that's the time to do it. I'll encourage you to think about your marriage in the same way, where you really make the time and schedule things into your calendar much the same way you do for the other areas of your life. So I'll suggest maybe weekly time that you spend with your husband. Maybe it's just once a week where you have an hour together, where you really spend time just in each other's presence, fully present, where you're not looking on the computer, not on your phone, but really that you have some quality time together. You might also consider monthly rituals. Maybe it's a date night, whether that's in the home or outside of the home. But whatever it is, I really encourage you to begin to think about your marriage as something that you need to schedule time to invest in. And so one thing that's also really easy is maybe even just a daily check-in with your husband. It can be 5 minutes where you have, again, some uninterrupted time to just chat with each other about your day. That will go a long way in helping you to prioritize your marriage. And so what I want you to know is that quality is more important than quantity. Spending time engaged in really meaningful conversation, meaningful activities where you both can be fully present is really important. And then we can't ignore the other things that are in your life. And so I think what will be important is to find ways to maybe integrate your husband and your marriage into those other spaces. So maybe have your husband help you when you're studying, or maybe if there's a church meeting, maybe you guys can go together. Maybe he can get involved in another ministry that meets at the same time. So whatever you do, again, the most important thing will be for you to identify what will always come first for you, and then you make your decisions in accordance with that. I hope this has been helpful. Again, let me know if you have additional questions. Happy to provide clarification. And I encourage all of you who are part of this community to chime in. Let me know how you prioritize the many, many things that are on your plate. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.